What is going on, everybody? Today we have another video on tips about reselling. Today we're going to be doing 5 tips about reselling and things just that have personally helped me throughout my 8 years of experience selling shoes, clothes, etc. So I just want to share a little bit of knowledge with you guys. We're going to jump into it. Give you guys 5 tips. Hope you guys Before we jump into the first tip, if you haven't already, check out the video previously we did on what to look for when buying shoes to resell. There's a lot of good information there, not just about buying shoes, but about reselling. So take your time, go check that out. There's a ton of information there. Great video. I spent a lot of time, figuring it all out, planning a script, all of that. But to jump into number 1, this is a really important step, and it's something that a lot of people don't really like to hear. And at the end of the day, it doesn't happen over time. Stuff doesn't just happen, I've been doing it for 8 years. 5 of those years I wasn't making close to minimum wage. I was also 12 through 17 years old, but I wasn't making money to live, but I was a kid. Now I'm making a lot more income, but back then I wasn't making, the amount to live. And it was I was really deciding on whether or not this was something I could seriously do, or if it was something that was just a hobby or for fun. But I just sort of pushed, I kept pushing. It took a super long time, but it took about 5 years to make $100,000, around 6, honestly. 6 years to make $100,000 in income to spend on the business. So it took a long time. That's about $18,000 per year, $17,000 per year or so. It was slow for sure. And the first years were even slower, $3,000-4,000. I started off maybe $1,000. If you want, there's a video of the story time. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is stuff doesn't just happen. It's not, it's not click. It doesn't just go. Take your time, learn, understand the market, meet people. Yeah, just really understand. Don't stress yourself out. If you're 2-3 years in, you're not making a ton of money and you're not doing too well, just keep going. Don't push yourself to crazy limits, but just understand that it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. So with that being said, we're going to jump into number 2. It sort of jumps off number 1 in the sense that you really have to know about reselling. When I was talking about learning, this is the tip to number 2. Learn about the market, learn about how to sell, learn about how to communicate with people, learn about how to balance numbers, learn about how to make a profit. Not in terms of making a profit actually, but learn about the simple business techniques and words and just methods. Learn about spreadsheets. There's tons of things. Learn about legit checking. You have to know so much before starting to resell. If you just jump into it without knowing anything, you're jumping into a ship that it's already flooded. You're gonna go downhill. There's no way about it. It's over. You really have to know and take time. Even after 5 years of reselling, for me, during COVID, I spent a whole year just grinding, watching YouTube videos about business, learning about how to balance money, where to spend money, passive income, all this stuff. I grinded for a very long time learning about all these little things to apply towards my business. And it's not just about reselling, it's about business as a whole. But you really have to understand those types of things. You can't just jump into this expecting to make money, even if you have money. You could start with $50,000 and you'll lose all $50,000 if you don't know anything about shoes, if you don't know anything about how to communicate and make deals with people, if you don't know how to balance numbers, if you don't know how to keep your numbers organized, if you don't know how to keep a spreadsheet. There's tons of things that go on within the background and the details of reselling that isn't seen on paper or that isn't seen through social media, what I mean. But yeah, so basically number 2 is just learn. really take your time to learn, understand things, meet people, talk to people. Your best friend is knowledge. Your enemy is just going in blind. Because at the end of the day, if you know what you're doing, you're not going to lose money. You might not make too much money, but you're not going to lose money because you're going to know what's safe, what's not safe, etc. So that being said, we're going to jump to number 3. There's 5 tips to this video. We're halfway there. If you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys for watching. And let's jump to number 3. 3 and 4 together. So at number 3, I had don't be afraid to fail. And at number 4, I had reinvest in yourself. So these two go together in the sense that you are going to fail sometimes. You aren't going to make profit on a pair. You're not going to make the profit you wanted to on a pair. Something's going to go wrong. You might get scammed. There's a lot of things that can go wrong within reselling. You need to understand that. You need to understand that everything's not 100% smooth. When I first started, I got scammed like in my 4th year for $5,000, and I was legitimately thinking about quitting. I was like, I'm done. But I didn't, and I'm happy I didn't because I'm, making a lot more money than $5,000. But basically, like what I'm telling you is, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to lose money, and invest in yourself. Invest in the business. Don't spend money on things that aren't your business unless you can. Reinvest all the money you have back into yourself. Don't let money sit. That's a big thing. Don't let money just sit in your bank account. It's not making money. You're losing money when it's sitting in your bank account. The best thing you could do is sit on, a little bit of inventory, if that, but you want to move it. Worst situations, you're sitting on inventory that might be going up. That's the worst situation you want to be in. That's why I buy these types of shoes. I don't see any of them just plummeting in value. Sadly, I had like 1 pair in the past 2 years. The Travis Fragments, I lost like $1,500 on that pair. Stuff happens, You can't predict the market. You gotta be aware of things. I made a mistake, is what it is. It happens to everyone. Like I said, you make mistakes, things happen. But at the end of the day, reinvest into yourself. Reinvest into a shoe to make more money. That's all that 3 and 4 was. You really just have to be confident in your ability to make money and to be okay with failing. Learn from what you did wrong. Make sure that you understand why you failed and make sure you won't do it again. So if you fail and learn from your mistakes, you'll limit the amount of times that you actually fail. So that being said, we're going to jump into the 5th and final. So my 5th and final tip is something that is so overlooked within selling used shoes specifically. I posted a lot of content about me cleaning up shoes, cleaning them up, sort of washing them, making them look better, etc. That's a big thing to what I do. When you're buying used shoes, you're going to clean them up, fix them up, and sell them for more. Clean your shoes. It's a huge thing to make more money. People are way more willing to buy a shoe that's clean on the bottom and that's clean on the midsoles and that doesn't look dirty. If it looks dirty, why would someone want to wear that? So you have to look at it in the perspective of if you were buying that shoe. Do you want to buy a dirty shoe, or do you want to buy a shoe that has been worn but it's fully cleaned up and it's, it still looks way better than the shoe that's worn. Even though it's worn, it doesn't really look worn. So that's the thing behind cleaning your shoes. Just clean your shoes. You'll make a ton more money. You'll make quicker sales. And you'll keep buyers long term because they realize what you're doing. They love the fact that you have clean used shoes, and they'll keep buying from you because of that fact. So yeah, that's basically wrapping up today's video. We made 2 pretty big videos. Today I recorded 2, the one that I mentioned previously and this one. But with that being said, I appreciate everyone who's watched. Thank you guys so much. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. There will be a small giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys, and peace.